And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today. Fanboys, you might want to click off this video. So it's time to have a conversation. I'm trying to keep this video relatively short, but it's time to have a conversation. But before we have this conversation, let me just give some honesty about my dilemmas with LeBron James at this point. For those of you who watch my channel, been following my channel, you know that LeBron James is no longer in the top 10 for me. When I first started this channel, he wasn't in the top 5. And I made videos giving my reasons why he shouldn't be in the top 5. And since then, those reasons have been further enhanced, further thought through, so much so that I'm like, this guy can't be in the top 10. And when I think about even just a side-by-side comparison of LeBron James to other NBA greats, and just in terms of skill, let's take all the accolades off the table. Let's just sit them down and say, who can play basketball the best? It is still hard to rank LeBron James, because here's the dilemma: is LeBron James is a superb athlete. Even without the juice, I think I think we would still have to say that LeBron James is one of the greatest athletes to play basketball. But because LeBron James has such poor character and such mental mishaps, it's still hard to really judge him if we're just talking about how good of a basketball player he is. Because for the amount of athleticism that he has, he should be way greater than he is. Again, I've said this on this channel before, that if LeBron James had Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant's mentality, I think he would definitely be seen as the GOAT by the majority at this point, because he has the athleticism on top of playing in this soft league that he would have been able to truly dominate. But the problem is they like to say LeBron James has dominated when he hasn't. And in fact, again, there have been several players during LeBron James' so-called reign that there's been a legitimate discussion about who's better. Again, Kobe Bryant was definitely better for a good portion of LeBron James' career. I would probably argue until Kobe retired for my money. But anyway, you know, Kobe Bryant, of course, we have to say Steph Curry, who has just as many championships as LeBron James. There's been Kevin Durant, who people say, is he better than LeBron? And Kawhi Leonard. And so there's been several players who get in this conversation about, you know, are they better than LeBron during LeBron James' so-called reign of dominance? And like I said, it's really hard to judge him because at the end of the day, for what he could have been, he's an underachiever, and he's an underachiever because he's mentally weak. So having said all that, today it's time to talk about how does LeBron James really compare to Dirk Nowitzki? Or maybe I should word that a different way. Let's say this. Whenever anyone talks about 2011, and it gets talked about a good bit, as it should, being such a big stain on LeBron James' legacy. However, that is the way that it gets talked about. Whenever anyone brings up 2011, it is always about how big of a failure it was for LeBron James. That one right there made me the GOAT after LeBron supposedly had this big upset in 2016. But we don't actually talk about what it meant meant for Dirk Nowitzki. 2011 never gets brought up about how big of a upset this was for Dirk Nowitzki. About a guy who spent his whole entire career loyal to Dallas. A guy who was part of the revolutionary big man who, could shoot outside. He had that fadeaway jumper. And a guy who did it the right way. Again, he spent his whole career in Dallas. They had a chance to get one in 2006. And funny enough, I guess I never really thought about it, but both of Dirk's finals runs was against the same team. It was against the Heat. And the first time it was with D Wade. Of course, they had a declining Shaquille O'Neal on there. They had Gary Payton on that team. I think Alonzo Mourning was still on the roster. But that was the year Dwayne Wade really showed up and showed out, and he bought the Heat a championship with him, again, an agent Shaquille O'Neal, some agent veterans on that team. But Dwayne Wade, played his heart out, captured that championship as the main superstar on the team. And then just 5 years later, Dirk Nowitzki finds himself in the finals again, facing D Wade again in the finals, except this time, what has happened? Well, it comes after Kobe Bryant winning back-to-back championships, and it comes at a time where the Deer decided to pull the ultimate treachery towards the Cleveland Cavaliers. D Wade decided to show the world that his need for championships got the better of his integrity for the game, and they decided to conspire together to put together D Wade, LeBron James, and Chris Bosh. And the first self-made super team, conspired from the players actually getting together and orchestrating this. And this is who Dirk was facing. And this time, Dirk Nowitzki, Jason Terry, and the rest of the Mavericks got the better of D Wade. And it raises so many questions, right? Fanboys, click off this video. It raises so many questions because I always like to talk about these videos from a perspective that, from the perspective of the narratives that Unclutched Sports put out there. The things that we haven't really discussed about teams until Unclutched Sports got in the mix, trying to dismiss the legacy of Michael Jordan and older players. So Dirk Nowitzki overcomes in 2011, and it makes you wonder a few things. Like, okay, so back in 2006, when Wade was definitely the star on the team, again, he had some aging veterans on the team that Wade was able to overcome Dirk. But here in 2011, with this super team, with this team with three superstars in their primes, but yet Dirk Nowitzki, with the second oldest team in NBA history, was able to overcome. And why was he able to overcome? It really kind of makes you wonder, and I'm going to answer this question, but it makes you wonder, would the Miami Heat have been better off without LeBron James on there? And to that question, I say, I believe so. I believe LeBron James is the reason that they lost. Fanboys, can you at least admit that? LeBron James is the reason that they lost. LeBron James played so poorly, wasn't showing up in fourth quarters, and Dirk was showing up in fourth quarters. Dirk was delivering in the clutch. He was delivering in the fourth quarters of these games. And I had to go back and look at the stats, but it's something I have checked out once before, and it's not even close. So Dirk really drove it home for the Mavericks, while LeBron James not only was not playing like a superstar, but he was the reason that they lost. So because of this, to me, people need to put more respect on what this win means for Dirk Nowitzki, because again, we keep talking about the loss that it was for LeBron James, but Dirk Nowitzki beat a super team. That's what he did. He beat a super team with 3 superstars in their primes. This is what Dirk Nowitzki did. And when we're comparing this to 2016, which LeBron James likes to hang, LeBron James and his 4-6 kingdom like to hang their hat on this 2016 championship about the greatest comeback ever. This is how they frame everything LeBron James does. Even though they weren't outmatched. They keep talking about the 73-9 Warriors. Well, they had that record because they were playing great team ball, which is something that the modern NBA typically doesn't do. So they were playing great team ball. They got a great record. But as far as being the better team with better talent, that wasn't the case. So this is my question I have always asked about 2016 is, LeBron James, why were you down 3-1 in the first place? This is what we need. This is the real question that needs to be asked, because you weren't outmatched by the Warriors in 2016. You simply allowed yourself to get down 3-1. And we talk about it, and not we, they talk about it like it's the greatest comeback ever, like it's such a huge upset, when in fact Dirk Nowitzki's beating the Heat in 2011 was a much bigger upset. Again, Dirk Nowitzki was facing 3 superstars in their prime, and Dirk Nowitzki had the second oldest team to win a championship in NBA history. I would say that deserves a lot more respect than people give it. And I would say that goes a lot farther in one's legacy than simply team hopping. Again, I get so sick of hearing people talk about, oh, well, LeBron James has won championships on 3 different teams. He hasn't proved that he is the driving force behind these wins, because in none of these teams has he been able to sustain it. And the Lakers, let me say this, and this is likely to happen. If LeBron James retires before winning a real championship for the Lakers, I don't want to hear anyone talk about LeBron James as one of the greatest Lakers, because that bubble if LeBron James doesn't bring a real legitimate championship to the city of Los Angeles, I mean, they should really just wipe that bubble championship away. But anyway, so like I said, Dirk Nowitzki, not only did he beat the super team, LeBron James, D Wade, and Chris Bosh, and LeBron and D Wade making fun of Dirk having a cold in the tunnel, but he had the second oldest team to do it. And this is another thing that you fanboys like to talk out both sides of your mouth, or don't keep that same energy for, because you love to go back and talk about how Jordan never beat people till they got old. But you fail to acknowledge the fact that the 98 Bulls indeed is the oldest team to win a championship. But here's something even better for you fanboys, is what you fail to acknowledge is that 3 of your Kings finals losses have come from 3 of the oldest teams to ever win championships in the NBA Finals. 3 of LeBron James' finals losses, 3 out of his 6, that means half of his losses has come from teams that were in the top 10 of oldest teams to ever win a championship. That would be number 2 with Dallas. That would be number 5 with the San Antonio Spurs in 2007. And that would be the 10th oldest team with the Spurs again in 2014. This is what your king is doing. So while you want to say that if indeed you want to go there and say Michael Jordan didn't beat teams till they got old, well, keep that same energy, because at least Michael Jordan was beating the teams when they got old. At least he wasn't getting beat by the oldest teams in NBA history. How about that, fanboys? But we all know that whole Michael Jordan didn't beat teams till they got old. That's a farce anyway. All it takes is a quick Google research, and you fanboys can find out the truth. But you don't want to know the truth. You're perfectly content spitting the lies. But anyway, we gonna hold up here. But like I said, to me, the magnitude of Dirk's championship in 2011 doesn't get enough respect put on it, and it's really time to consider, how you would rank him against LeBron James. Because again, for me, it's getting harder and harder to rank LeBron James for a lot of reasons. But it's like his legacy is so convoluted and so diluted with a bunch of BS, and his own weak mentality is really hard to figure out what he's really capable of for someone who's constantly looking to not give their all. That championship for Dirk Nowitzki deserves a lot more respect. And here's a simple way to look at it is, who would you want your kid to emulate? A guy who stayed on one team for his whole career, had his ups and downs, and got his breakthrough. And not only did he get his breakthrough, but he got his breakthrough, like I said, on a super team. And he was definitely the guy who helped carry them across the finish line. Or would you want your kid to follow in the career of someone who has been avoiding obstacles at every turn? Which one do you think is the more respectable career? And that is Dirk Nowitzki, without even having to give it a thought. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think? How do you think LeBron should be ranked as compared to Dirk Nowitzki? Should LeBron James actually be above Dirk Nowitzki? I mean, this is really something to consider. Again, to me, just based off of who's had the respectable career, whose championship actually means the most. Again, all of LeBron James' championships are questionable. And if you want to talk about 2016, I would say Dirk Nowitzki's 2011 finals win against Bron, D Wade, and Bosh means much more, was a much greater win than LeBron having to come back from 3-1 down to a team he should have never been down 3-1 to begin with. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly, truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.